Whoa. I may have to shut my door. But either way, welcome to Independent Underground Radio Live. This is your host, Monica W. And we have a lot to talk about today. Oh, bunch. Oh my God. I don't know if, well, first of all, I got to explain myself. So I've been, and I'll just put on stuff in the middle of the podcast stream. I have been out of town. I just got back on, oh my God, I just got back on Thursday night. So because I just got back on Thursday night, I hadn't been caught up with some of the latest news resources that came out of the Ann Arbor Independent News that I done said this so many times to people when I just pop up and do these live streams, and this one is also being simulcast on X. So, but either way, you got to start paying attention to the Ann Arbor Bender News. I know it can be hard because you're thinking, oh, this is going to be covered in like M Live or something, right? Especially if you're here locally in the Washtenaw County area. M Live is going to do it. I'm just going to wait for M Live to cover it, or I'm going to wait for the Detroit News or the Detroit Free Press or 24750 to cover what is going on. If that's the case, you may be waiting forever. I mean, in some cases, M Live did cover a story that was done first just recently, right before I went on vacation, and the Ann Arbor Independent News, and that was in regards to the overspending that was done by, was it four Washtenaw County Commissioner? Yeah. So that overspending that was done, but they didn't cover it first. It was in Ann Arbor Independent News. So what I'm saying to you is that you literally have to bookmark this site, right? And also you can go and get the Newsbreak as well. If you don't have Newsbreak, it's an app. You can get Newsbreak as an app on your phone, and you can actually subscribe there to the Ann Arbor Independent News. We will talk about it on today's program because the article that came out 2 days ago, remember now, I just got back in town on Thursday night. So I am still kind of catching up myself. So, but the article that came out 2 days ago, oh my God, we got to talk about it. It is a must talk about, must share article. This one is the one that you need to share with your friends, family, folks, anybody that's voting age in Washtenaw County, the whole 9 yards, right? I mean, if they're 18, they can vote. If they're 99, they're going to be voting. And any time in between, including maybe even they're 105 and they're going to be voting. Hey, sometimes people live long. But either way, you got to share this article. You got to talk about it. And so, because otherwise than that, there is an election that's going to be coming up, right? And so the hope from certain individuals is that you will not find out information. They can lie to you and continue to keep you snowblowed in regards to the information. They will just be able to keep you not informed. And if they can do that, then they will re-win these offices that some of them are trying to re-win, or better yet, put other folks into these offices that will do their bidding, which is scary when we talk about what's going to be talked about on today's show. So, what in the world, and what in the Praytel is going on with Washtenaw County government? It's a lot. It's a lot. And this article we're going to be talking about is disturbing on multiple aspects. And I'm going to give a hint on it, is that if you haven't already saw that it was on my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, and I kind of spread it around to certain groups, not all groups, because all groups for some reason, not, first of all, I ain't doing all groups, but secondly, some groups just don't want to have information talked about certain people. So, we're going to leave those groups nameless because it's not, whatever. It's not about name checking groups and name checking moderators and certain groups. It is about basically making sure that you have the information. So if you are connected on our Independent Underground Radio Live Facebook page, which I think has over 7,000 people connected with that page, or if you are in our supporters group, right? Hi, supporters. I know you're like, Monica, you just be randomly doing shows. I know I'm not consistent like I used to be for many, many years, but either the reason why is because I do so much more, but I still like to make sure I get out information. Hey, I am on video now, comparison to I was just on podcast before, right? So, or if you're not connected inside of another Facebook group, which is smaller that I run, um, then yeah, you're gonna have to share it out. You could go on the Independent Underground Radio Live Facebook page and share the video. It just depends on the Facebook's going to allow it. We never know how it's going to work. I never know what Facebook is going to do today. But if you are on Twitter X, you are getting aware of this information today. All right. So what we're going to do is that we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to get right down to it, right? Here on Independent Underground Radio Live. This is only going to be an hour show. I hope I don't make it an hour and a half. I do have a rant at the end. So yeah, yep, that's happening. But either way, continue to tune in. You can also, if you are connected on our Facebook, Independent Underground Radio Live, Independent Underground Radio Live Facebook page with Monica RW, you can actually comment as well. And we will talk about your comments because we can read your comments and put them here on to the live stream that we are doing today. With that, let's take this quick commercial break and let's get right to it. Like I said, what the Praytel is going on in Washtenaw County's government. Oof. Oof. I mean, to say that we need some help. Ooh, where are the police? It's not the one that work in Washtenaw County. Not saying all of them. The deputies are good. It's not the deputies. Administration is different from deputies. But where are well, I'm talking about in my rant. I ain't gonna talk about it. I ain't gonna ruin it right now. But we'll talk about it during the rant. Let's take this quick commercial break. We'll be right back on Independent Ground Radio Live. Welcome back, folks, to Independent Underground Radio Live with Monica RW. Truth in politics today. Yeah. All right. So we are going to talk about this latest article that came out of the Ann Arbor Independent News. Yep, they did it again. I wish I had the clip. Oops, I did it again. But no, I'm actually happy that they have done it again. right? And what it is called investigative journalism. What it is called telling the public the truth. What it is thank God for the independent news, because otherwise than that, it would be a whole bunch of folks that are uninformed inside of this area of Washtenaw County, Michigan. Just seriously. And there are folks that want to keep it that way. So, what we are going to talk about, and I'm going to get the article up. I'm going to get the article up. Give me just a second. Is this article. That one right there. That one. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to pull this over here so I can scroll and read at the same time while looking at you guys. It may take me, I may have to do a head turn, but either way. But this is the article from the Arbor Independent News. As you can see, we're going to drive down. This is a person here. And alleged rapist hired as deputy sheriff. Sheriff denies release of background check as it is not in the public interest. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and dig into this article a little bit. On March 25th, 2024, the Ann Arbor Independent News submitted a Freedom of Information Act request to the County Sheriff's Department to obtain a copy of the background check of Sheriff Deputy D'Angelo LaDon Williams prior to his hiring. Mac Williams is a alleged rapist awaiting trial. Okay. My name is Monica Ross Williams, not Mac Williams. We are not related. Okay, I just want to put that out there. The request was denied. Why? It said, in accordance to MCL 15243, Section 13A1 of the information of personal nature, if disclosure of the information will constitute an unwarranted invasion of the individual's privacy, and MCL 15243, Section 13XIX, disclose personal records of law enforcement agencies. Okay, that's why I denied the request. This pertains to the background check of D'Angelo Williams. The public interest does not outweigh the privacy of the individual. Really now? Because I could have sworn when some deputies, this was a while back, was accused of, and this is what the Washtenaw County Sheriff was accused of allegedly, right? Kind of manhandling an individual, right? This was in the Apple Ridge community, that their business was put all over out in the middle of the street. Okay. But I guess now they're saying that this MCL, let me see, they're using MCL, that's Michigan compiled laws, 15243, section 13. A1 and then 1S as in the letter Sam S IX. They're using that now to try and stop the freedom of information. Now, again, under that, you can see Washtenaw County Sheriff hires accused rapist under investigation. Wait, what? I mean, wait, what again? Washtenaw County Sheriff hires accused rapist under investigation. Okay. So is that the public interest does not outweigh the privacy of the individual? What exactly does that mean? Oh, okay, because he's accused of raping. Is that it? So that's the privacy that they're trying to constitute. Don't worry, we're gonna get in the rest of this article because it's very interesting. Okay. So Makosti, I want to say it's like that is Michigan, like the Michigan law enforcement record system, right? Records obtained by the newspaper show Sheriff Deputy D'Angelo McWilliams was hired by Sheriff Jerry Clayton on May 18th, 28th, 2019. So we're in 2024 now. So give or take, that was not even, it was like 4 years ago and maybe a month, right? Because we're now talking 4 years ago. While a student at Eastern Michigan University between 2015 and 2019, McWilliams was investigated by the Eastern Michigan University Police Department and the Ypsilanti Police Department for allegedly having raped at least 8 co-eds. 8 co-eds. Yeah, of course, this is allegedly because he hasn't been convicted yet, but 8? I mean, what happened to Believe Women? Me Too? Any of that? I'm just asking because, whoa, that was Me Too and Believe Women. Just the accusation was enough at that point, right? To kind of be like, hey, no, this individual don't get no privacy. You know what I'm saying? But now, keep reading. The former Ypsilanti police detective, Jessica Laurie, investigated the allegations made against McWilliams, as did the EMU police officer, Susan McLean. There has been multiple allegations that the Washtenaw County prosecutor and 2 detectives bungled the investigation. Now, if you don't know who the Washtenaw County prosecutor is, I will make sure to show you who it is now, right? It was previously Brian Mackey, right? To now, after 2020, the person is named Ellie Savvy. Right, and that is the Washtenaw County prosecutor who would still now be in charge right now because this is past 2020 that person was elected of this ongoing case. Ellie Savvy now, right? It was Brian Mackey. Brian Mackey retired, and now it's Ellie Savvy. Okay, a former Ypsilanti police detective alleged that the EMU, that's Eastern Michigan University, that's funded by your tax dollars, by the way. Yep, because it's a state school. So EMU, Eastern Michigan University. Chief of Police Bob Hedges and the Deputy Chief of Police Daryl Kanak tried to hide the 30 alleged rapes from the public. Whoa, what? 30? 30? What? Okay, what? Whoa, Shemama. Wait, okay, so it was 30 alleged rapes? Okay. In 2008, EMU, that's Eastern Michigan University, paid the largest Cleary fine for covering up the rape and murder of student Laura Dixon. Okay, I know 2008. So, like, okay, that was, when was that? That was 2008. This is 2024. So you add kind of like 10, and that's 14. And then you put 2, which is 16. So 16 years ago, EMU paid the largest Cleary Act fine for allegedly not allegedly, they did it, covering up the rape, murder of student Laura Dixon. So, like, we are still here, Eastern Michigan University, for some reason. Okay. In 2020, after this is D'Angelo McWilliams, had been hired by Sheriff Jerry Clayton as a deputy. McWilliams reportedly told Ypsilanti police detectives that Kernack had cleared him of all the alleged rapes, including the alleged gang rapes, in which victims said had taken place between 2015 and 2019. Wait. So, whoa. We have 30 alleged rapes, and then some of those were gang rapes, and allegedly between 2015 and 2019. And regardless of the fact of all those alleged rapes, this person that you see here was still hired by the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department. Okay. There is a pending federal lawsuit which accuses former EMU, that's Eastern Michigan University, Chief of Police Bob Hedges of receiving knowledge of assault. What? In other words, the Chief of Police, who is the former chief of police, may have Eastern Michigan University may have knew that there was accusations of at least 30 rapes and gang rapes by a student that was a student at Eastern Michigan University during 2015 and 2019 that was hired by the Sheriff's Department of Washtenaw County May 28th of 2019. Okay. Um, and accusing Hedges officers of telling the rape victim nothing would happen with the prosecution because she reported the assault after 2 months. I don't know if that has anything to do with alleged rape. Like, I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean, if I have it correct, the statutes of limitations in the state of Michigan is somewhere around like 15 years after the assault. So if she did it 2 months after, or they, because you got 30 alleged rapes, that still counts. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? No wonder there's a pending lawsuit. I would have a pending lawsuit too if I was raped and I was had go through some traumatic incidents. Obviously, after that, and 2 months later, I basically got, you know, might as well say brave enough, because the victim is always brave. Even when she went through it, she was brave because of all the trauma that happened to her. But even brave enough to go to the police, and then the police, the EMU police, basically say to her, "Oh, it's not going to happen because it's been 2 months." Wow. In August of 2020, the Washtenaw County Sheriff Deputy D'Angelo McWilliams was charged and arrested and arraigned for allegedly having committed a dozen sex crimes linked to the EMU Ipsy Police Department. Whoa, wait. Nothing was going to happen, but then he got arrested. Again, it's still accusation now. Many accusations, though, like 30 or a lot or many. Okay. Investigations including multiple charges of criminal sexual conduct, first degree. Yeah, that's like rape. Victims accused McWilliams of having participated in gang rapes. Oh, wow. McWilliams was later bound over to the Washtenaw County trial court for trial. Well, that's what normally happens. Judge Darlene O'Brien was assigned to the McWilliams case. The sheriff deputy, an alleged sexual predator facing multiple CSC first degree charges, was placed on unpaid leave by the sheriff. Not fired, just placed on unpaid leave, because why fire someone who may have accusingly committed gang rapes against EMU students, which is down the street and in the same county where you actually are the sheriff that is in charge of, like, the whole county. Why do that when you can just put them on unpaid leave? Yeah, of course. County prosecutor Ellie Savvy recommended just 50,000, a 10%. Now, this is the new prosecutor. Now, this is the one that was hired by Washtenaw County voters, not me, in 2020. 50,000, 10% bond for Deputy McWilliams. So 10% is 5,000. So if he could get up $5,000, he was getting out for how many rapes it was, gang rapes allegedly, and maybe 30 alleged rapes, and then all that. So the person accused was accusingly raping all over the place an EMU from 2015 to 2019, but you just give him $5,000 to go get out. Yep, that's what prosecutor Ellie Savvy did. Meanwhile, between time, he was released in 2020, and he continues to reside at his home in Canton, Michigan. I don't know if Canton Township is aware of this person, but if you live in Canton Township, you might want to keep an eye out for the alleged, again, I'm going to always say alleged, rapist, because he hasn't been convicted yet, D'Angelo McWilliams, who gang raped accusingly at least 30 times, or raped and gang raped, both combined, at least 30 times. Okay, keep going. The court records show that on July 26, 2023, Judge O'Brien continued McWilliams' bond until August 5th, 2024. It is unclear from the court records if Judge O'Brien placed McWilliams on an electronic teller. Records do show that McWilliams, through his attorney, Douglas Gusker, has repeatedly asked for his bond conditions to be amended. Like what? What? Exactly. You're out. What? What should be amended? Including in January 2023, McWilliams asked Judge O'Brien to be allowed contact with one of his co-defendants. So you want to the alleged rapist, multiple rapists, alleged, would like to contact your co-defendant. For what? To get the story straight or something? Thomas Hernandez. Records show Judge O'Brien ruled against each request to amend McWilliams' bond conditions. Thank God for Judge O'Brien doing that, even though she should have let his bond be more like, I'm going to say something like $500,000, 10%. Or no 10%, just 500,000. That would have been nice. But at least she didn't let the co-defendants kind of start talking to each other. Mm-hmm. Moving on. McWilliams background check the public doesn't need to know. Can McWilliams hiring could be explained in part by the fact that for years the county, this is Washtenaw County, Michigan, Sheriff's Department, including the county jail, has been chronically understaffed. That is dangerous conditions for not only correction officers inside of the jail, which is terrible for them, right? Because that means they may be working 816, 816, 816, depends on how the union contract goes. And basically not really having time to sleep or eat, or better yet, even recover from the shift that you just did 16 on before you got to go back and do 8 and then another 16. Maybe you get a day off. Hopefully you get days off. But either way, chronically understaffed, right? Because some weird reason, they can't hire people to want to be COs inside the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department. COs is correction officers. Can you understand why as we keep reading this story? Mm-hmm. County jail staff are required to work mandatory overtime. Mm-hmm. Sheriff Department employees say morale within the department is at an all-time low. I would be not having too much good morale either if I had this person working around me for a while. I mean, I'm sorry. Just it is what it is. And then on the top of it, 816, 816, 816, right? Which is mandatory overtime. You can work 16 hours and have to come back work 8, then 16 hours and have to come back work 8. That's not really good for family life, being able to keep the custody and security of the institution called the Washtenaw County Jail in order. And ironically, which is weird, the sheriff used to be, now since looking at all that, the sheriff used to actually be a CO. Yes, that's Sheriff Jerry Clayton. So I guess now since he's been sheriff for like 12 years, he don't care about the rest of the line staff that may have to work many darn hours and while jeopardizing safety and security. Yeah, or either they just can't hire anybody. Meanwhile, between time, let's keep going. 2 of the 3 sheriff candidates for sheriff, Alicia Dyer and Ken McGee, during the recent two recent candidate debates, discussed their strategies for reversing the sheriff's department understaffing, and both have shared strategies for lifting employee morale. The 2 have also alleged that the county sheriff office needs to improve their operational transparency. You think? Yeah. Ken McGee has said morale problems stems from the fact that the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department is rife with corruption within the upper administration. Do I have claps? I don't know. I'm going to see if I got claps. I may or may not have claps. If not, I'll just clap myself. Let me see. Do I have claps? No, don't have no clap. I'll just clap. Thank you, candidate McGee. Yep. Many former female employees in Clayton's department have alleged sexual improprieties and harassment and retaliation against women who refuse to provide sexual favors is endemic. Ooh. Now you got to think about it now. If you tell though and you work for them, then it may get worse for you. Like your shift may get worse, or you may get more mandatory overtime, and you may never see your family, or worse, you may get more sexually harassed, even more than you already are. And honestly, and sometimes in these situations, they have inmates come after you, or prisoners, or jail inmates. right? And put you in dangerous situations if you tell. I'm just saying normally in type of environments like this. Now, I'm saying that's happening inside the sheriff's office. I don't know yet. But I can definitely say that according to the article, that they said that alleged sexual impropriety, harassment, and retaliation against women who refuse to provide sexual favors is an endemic. And that is according to the article in the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department. Isn't that interesting? Okay, keep going. Public records show, just a second, county taxpayers paid a $50,000 sexual harassment settlement. That's it. They should have settled. They should have gotten a lot more than that. Against sheriff's employee Myron Blackwell. Now, Blackwell allegedly pressured a co-worker for sexual favors. Blackwell is the sheriff's department quartermaster. In other words, he still has a job. OpenPayroll.com, a nonpartisan group that tracks the salaries of public employees, documents Blackwell's pay at $42.86 an hour, or $89,149. It is 41% higher than the average pay for coworkers in the sheriff's department and 26% higher than the national average for government employees. How is that? How is it? You have a $50,000 sexual harassment lawsuit paid out for you, and your salary is like literally 41% higher than the average pay for coworkers at the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department. You know that's probably why nobody want to work there. I wouldn't want to work there either. Like seriously, like for real. MCOT's records show McWilliams enrolled in a 4-month training program at the Wayne County Regional Police Training Academy. He finished that program on May 2nd, 2019, and then, of course, going back up into the article, it didn't take long, though. It didn't take long. He was hired by the department on May 28th. So, like, he finished the program on when? He got hired like 26 days later after, all the allegations, that is. Mm, hmm We gonna keep going because this article is something else. Sources within the sheriff's department told the Ann Arbor Independent that in May 2019, D'Angelo underwent a background check prior to being hired. I guess that's in that 24 days or so before he was hired. Various resources inside and outside the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department has said that McWilliams' background check was done by a temporary county sheriff employee staff workers named Lisa Bing. County records show that between May 5th, 2019 and May 31st, 2019, background investigation contractor Lisa Bing was paid a total of $2,876.28 for her advice. A retired Ypsilanti police detective who spoke up with Bing about McWilliams' hiring said that Bing's investigation turned up red flags. So they paid Miss Bing for investigation $2,876.28, and then didn't listen to what she found. They didn't even listen to it. They was like, oh well, we're gonna hire him anyway, because why? Even though it was red flags. Being reportedly contacted Brian Miller, the sheriff's special investigator. Anybody at work? Of professional standards, and informed him of the red flags. The former Ypsilanti police detective said sheriff candidate Derek Jackson had also been made aware of the troubling results of McWilliams' background check, but Jackson brushed it off, the troubling results of Bing's background check, because he wants to be next sheriff. So how many more accusations of sexual assault from deputies might be covered up if he becomes sheriff? Anybody know? Anybody? Efforts to contact Jackson, Bing, and Miller were unsuccessful. Of course they were. Sheriff candidates McGee and Dyer were both asked to comment on the hiring of McWilliams as it reflects on operations within the sheriff's department, and Dyer refused to comment. Now, I saw Dyer in a debate, and she was very, forum, whatever, and she was very boisterous, in regards to the that employees of deputies of the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department need mental health training and stuff like that. But for some reason, she couldn't comment on the article. Why? See, you got to be very careful, though, folks, because sometimes, just sometimes, now she used to work for the Sheriff's Department. Sometimes people are put in races, or they put themselves in races for reasons. And maybe sometimes I'm just gonna say I can't, I don't know why she there, but I'm just gonna say in certain situations, I'm not saying this one. Sometimes candidates are put up to ensure that if other candidates don't win, they can win and they continue to do the same thing that was done before. Now, did I'm saying that about Miss Dyer? Absolutely not. I'm just saying it. Meanwhile, between time, going back to the article. McGee said in a written statement, I have been involved in recruiting and hiring police officers for decades. Derek Jackson should be ashamed of his decision to ignore McWilliams' background check just as much as the public should be outraged. Oh, yeah. A possible sexual predator sworn in as a cop in the Sheriff's Department. What could go wrong? A whole bunch. Sheriff's Department insiders claims that McWilliams' background check was ignored because he was seen as a diversity hire. DEI again. Despite Bing's findings during her background investigation of McWilliams, those findings went unheeded. And on May 28, 2019, just 23 days after McWilliams finished his 4-month training course, he was being investigated as a serial rapist. And he was hired by the sheriff and given a gun and a badge and a mission to protect and serve Washtenaw County residents. Again, where is Me Too? Believe women? Anybody? Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department? Anybody? Anybody at all? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm immune from that. 14 months after being hired by sheriff, D'Angelo McWilliams was arrested, charged, and just 14 months. And multiple sex crimes, assault, and indecent exposure. Indecent exposure, too. Boom! Arraigned, bound over for trial in the Washtenaw County's 22nd Circuit Court. He is awaiting trial before the 39th Circuit Court Judge Michael Officer because this had to happen. McWilliams' trial was transferred out of Washtenaw County by state officials in January 2024. Thank God for somebody, whoever it was, that transferred this case out of Washtenaw County. Lord knows it needed to be transferred. Thank God for whoever made that decision. I don't know if it was AG Dana Nessel, but the article, we're going to keep reading the article. We'll come back from break. Maybe it was AG Dana Nessel. And if it was AG Dana Nessel, thank God. Now, I'm going to get into some more of that in my rant when I finish, but after reading this article. But yeah, if it was her, thank God, because something needed to be done. This is a hot mess. Now, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and read the rest of this article. This is Independent Underground Radio Live. We don't have that much more to read, so hopefully you can hang with me. But either way, this is Independent Underground Radio Live with Monica W. Truth and Politics. Lord knows we need a lot of truth today. We will be back in just a moment. In just a moment. Okay, I'm going to go off screen because I need to go off screen and remove the article. I'm just doing a lot, so don't worry. We're going to come back up to it. We will be back in just a moment. I mean, this is hot. This is burning up. Where would we be in Washtenaw County without the Ann Arbor Independent News? I don't know. I can tell you, we would not know about this darn article. We would not know about this even happening. We wouldn't know diddly do squat. Because now we have news resources. Like our news resource is the MLive, Post B, the Ann Arbor News. It used to report news like before other resources covered it. And then they stopped. Now, why they stopped is still a question on everybody's minds. Now, sometimes they report things after the Ann Arbor Independent News reported. Then they go and like tell somebody go fetch down the story and and go report it. Maybe it could be the budgetary cuts. I don't know. But I'm just saying, how the hell was this not mentioned in 2019, 2020, 2021 from the Ann Arbor Independent News? They have failed at their job. Bingo. We're going to go back to the article. Out with the county prosecutor and with the Michigan AG. In late 2023, court records show Michigan's AG Dana Nessel took over McWilliams' prosecution from Washtenaw County prosecutor Ali Savvy's office. Oh, so Dana did get it. Okay. AG Nessel assigned Assistant Attorney General Kelly A. Carter to prosecute McWilliams. According to records, Myron Backwell, Derek Jackson, Lisa Bing, and Brian Miller are witnesses for the McWilliams trial. Sheriff Jerry Clayton is not. Can that trial take place right now? Dana Nessel, can you have the trial start? Dana Nessel, can you start the trial? Because it's like an election going on right now, and that trial needs to be started, especially to let the witnesses speak, like Derek Jackson, or I'm sorry, witness list. Derek Jackson on the witness list because he's running for sheriff, so he's on the witness list, so he should be speaking because he still works for the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department. He is the director of community engagement. Why is he not speaking? I mean, now because this trial started. According to records, again, they all witnesses: Myron Backwell, Lisa Bing, and Brian Miller, and Derek Jackson. Jerry Clayton is not. I don't know why. You know what? I know why. Somebody friends with somebody else. Like the governor. So maybe that's why he ain't on the witness list. I know they friends. They buddies. On March 22nd, 2024, McWilliams' lawyer submitted a brief regarding the evidentiary hearing to Judge Michael Allister. In that brief, the attorney accused Washtenaw County prosecutor Ali Savvy's office of failing to turn over evidence compelled during discovery, along with a host of other allegations of prosecutorial incompetence. Whoa, wait, what? Nah, not Ali. Not Prosecutor Savvy. He can't be incompetent. Really? No. Color me shocked. No, it can't be incompetence, right? No. I mean, if I have it correct, he has like assistant prosecutor named Victoria Burton Harris. So she between the both of them, they are like super lawyers and they should not be incompetent. You would think, right? I mean, I'm just going on what who is this? McWilliams' lawyer said. I'm reading the article. Don't say I called you incompetent. I'm reading the article. Ypsilanti Police Department Detective Jessica Laurie, who initially investigated the allegations against McWilliams, was accused in the brief of having destroyed evidence. Laurie is no longer employed by the Ypsilanti Police Department. In August 2023, then Chief Judge Carol Clunky removed O'Brien from the McWilliams trial, reassigned the dockets of virtually all the trial court judges. Judge Ariane Slade was assigned to the McWilliams case in August 2023. On August 22nd, 2023, McWilliams' attorney, Doug Gussler, filed a motion to dismiss the charges against McWilliams because of bad faith destruction of evidence by the Ypsilanti PD detective who's no longer there, Jessica Laurie. On August 20th, 2023, Judge Slay recused herself. Yeah, I would have. Judge Tracy O'Brien Berg took over. And in December 2023, the Michigan Attorney General's office asked for Vandenberg to recuse herself, and she agreed. On January 17th, 2024, the state court administrative order issued. McWilliams' trial was moved out of Washtenaw County to Lenawee County. Thank God. To the 39th District Court and assigned to Judge Michael Ovister. The Ann Arbor Indy, or A2 Indy, has appealed to County Administrator Greg Deal, the denial of McWilliams' background check. Deal has the legal authority to reverse the denial and order to release the public records as requested, but I don't think he's going to. Nope. Too many people's name involved in that. You know, you gotta keep his friends and stuff. So, yeah, that is like a hot. Ain't that a hot mess? That's a hot mess. Like it it's so much. It's like now, if you've been watching when my periodic streams come up, you would know a lot of things have happened in Washtenaw County government. Right. The last stream I did was basically when a Washtenaw County commissioner, Crystal Light, accused me, of being racist 3 times, and then basically, said I was threatening somebody's family and young child that I didn't, and then basically said what she wasn't going to tolerate. Yep, that happened when I went to go speak, just like as a citizen, in regards to the overspending of Miss Light's $7,000 and other commissioners too, $7,000 per diem account. It got overspent by like $2,000, and she said to pay it back according to an MLive article. Remember, they covered after Ann Arbor Independent covered the initial story. She said it was woefully inappropriate to have to pay the taxpayers' money back. Woefully. After calling me a racist and 3 times and said I was accusing somebody, messing with somebody's family, which I didn't even say in my statement. I don't mess with people. I don't even talk about people, employees' families. Why the hell would I do that? Nobody's stupid enough to do that. I don't know what she was thinking. I think she was just basically talking because she was just mad and stuff was coming out of her mouth, because the statement that I said asked for the commissioners that didn't do the overspending to hold their colleagues accountable, and they happen to be white, and so basically to hold them accountable is not racist, right? So she took the word racist and just went off, like just went on a tantrum, and so that's what happened, and she was mad because she got caught. So anyway, not by me, it was by the Ann Arbor Independent News, but either way, so I had to go back. So that was the last stream I did, and so I did go back and I told her what I thought, very nicely and professionally. Now you can see that basically if you go to Washtenaw County government, all you got to do is go to their meeting and during public comments on the 3rd of April, and you will see my comment. You will hear it and see it because I have video. And so, yeah, I looked straight in their face when I did it. But again, I was professional. So that particular article also talked about not only her, but equally like Caroline Sanders, Justin Hodge, who paid back his $936 of overspending, basically like 2 days after I spoke originally at the meeting on March 20th. And then Caroline Sanders saying, of course, she spent like 2,100 plus, and then she's saying she need a lawyer before she pay a bit. And then also, it's a state. It's actually, a state representative, Jason Morgan, who overspent too, and he been in state house since like 2022. But he was told by somebody I ain't gonna name that he needed to pay his money back, so he went and paid his back after 2 years. Now, also there was Annie Somerville, who gave a whole tirade in regards to why she overspent. It was on her Facebook page. This was all after I spoke. But remember, Just like called me racist 3 times. So I ain't racist. I can't be racist against my own kind. That's stupid, right? So okay. So next question. Now it's called will your money be fleeced again for that's really a pay for play for the WSCO's Friends and Fams program. If you don't know that program exists, it does. I'm just being honest. I'm telling you right now, it's real. It's called the nonprofit pay for play, right? And I have a nonprofit, so I can say this. So, yep, I'm an executive director of one. Nope, I ain't never asked for no money. Well, okay, change that. I originally asked for some Arbor funds with my business, but I was denied, which is fine because I'm glad I didn't get it because it turns out those same Arbor, and I'm glad I'm so glad because it turns out and didn't even get considered, like wasn't really even considered, and I'm so glad. And the reason why I'm so glad is because some and felons and Supreme got money and it was 1.2 million. And then it turns out like they didn't even have a nonprofit and stuff. Read in our independent news. I can't go back into that story because that one is back. I keep saying back. There's so much stuff on this site. Okay, so we're going to go and talk about briefly. I'm not going to spend as much time as I did spend on the alleged rapist, D'Angelo McWilliams, that was hired by the sheriff's department. But then I guess now is not. But either way, what I am going to do is I'm going to talk about this latest article, which I'm pulling up right now. I'm just waiting on this a little slow. About your money, right? So I'm going to briefly set this up. So I was at a meeting, but that's one of the 2 meetings I got, called racist and stuff, because somebody called somebody else. I ain't gonna say who it was. She know who it is. So she called some people because I showed up at the meeting. I guess they thought that person who called or text those people. I saw you texting. I basically, so basically what happened is that this person started getting on their phone, started texting because I showed up at the meeting. I was there a little early. I was there at 5:30 because I thought I could speak at the 5:30 meeting. They told me it was a minute, and I said I'll reserve my time to speak later. So meanwhile, between time, I was sitting next to candidate for sheriff. Please vote for him, Ken McGee. Please vote for Ken. Please. Lord knows we need somebody that's a real sheriff candidate, sheriff, law enforcement officer in Washtenaw County, because many people will be arrested if he is. Meanwhile, between time, I'm going backwards. So, all right. So I was sitting there and waiting on my turn to speak at 7:00 meeting. And some chick, some lady, I'll be nice. Some lady, right? I ain't gonna name her name. She know who she is. She started texting. Monica might be here to talk about the mental health millage, which I was not. And so next thing you know, some people showed up that work for the sheriff's department. Some of them run nonprofits, I guess. They get paid by the mental health millage because they supposed to be doing mental health. And so like they basically showed up and started talking about why they need to retain the millage that was not even on the agenda. Because they thought I was going to talk about it, which I was talking about something totally different. So to the person that text, and I saw you texting, to the person that texts to tell these people to show up to talk about a mental health village that wasn't on the agenda because you thought I was going to be talking about it. You played yourself. What you did though was show me how this is all connected, the pay for play. You showed me the pay for play without me even trying to look for it. It was so obvious, person texting, it was so obvious. It was as obvious as like somebody plays the Mega Millions and then they don't win nothing because your chances are like 1 in I don't know how many million. Pay for play. Thanks for revealing it, Miss Texer. So, meanwhile, between time, this is another article that you need to look at for real. I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to put it right here. And thanks for everyone that is on X stream listening to this at the same time. Thank you to my X people. I appreciate you as we are talking about this corruption, this Kwame level corruption going on in Washtenaw County government. So I'm just going Kwame Kilpatrick. He was a former mayor of Detroit. He was convicted and sentenced to, I don't know, 25 years, but it got reduced to 10 because Donald Trump let him out. Now, personally, I thought Kwame shouldn't have did 25 years to begin with. That was a little much, but either way, it was corruption. He wasn't the only one. A whole bunch of people was doing it along with him. But meanwhile, between time, him and Bobby Ferguson were the only ones that was convicted, while everybody else turned state evidence. That's what happened. So, I mean, if Kwame was going to do 25 years, then, other people should have done some years, and nobody really didn't do too many years except for like Kwame and Bobby Ferguson. But I'm not saying that the corruption didn't happen. I am saying it happened. But what I am saying is that was a lot of years. But meanwhile, between time, corruption is happening in Washtenaw County, and where everybody at? Where's the FBI? With Detroit. That I'm saying that till my red. So let's talk about this article. All right. So I'm only going to read some of it. County Post plan to protect mental health millage. They are 5 years late and $35 million short. Just think of how many people could have been helped to get a house and stay in a house and basically rent with $35 million since 2016. The 2016 Mental Health and Public Safety millage was a brainchild of County Commissioner Andy Labar, District 7. It's the perfect way to get voters to pony up tens of millions for two of the poorest run and least accountable agencies in Washtenaw County. That is the community mental health and the county sheriff. The millage was sold as a desperate and kind-hearted taxpayers and the extra money to expand the mental health resources for county residents through both community mental health and the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department. Voters were assured the millage would improve public safety throughout the county. The county commissioners recently voted to put a renewal on the millage on the ballot in November 2024. Don't vote for it. Don't do it. Andy Labar, who has been on the County Millage Advisory Committee, MAC, since 2019, the first year the millage funds were made available to governmental units. Given the previous abuse of the millage funds by CMH and the Sheriff's Department leadership uncovered through public records, one concludes the 3 visually impaired mice could have done a better job with oversight of the MAC over the past 5 years. The MAC's mission to provide strategic oversight regarding the Washtenaw County public safety and mental health millage activities and investments. But Andy Labar failed on the job. He's been on the county commission forever. Why? The 13-member advisory committee, a subcommittee of the Washtenaw County Mental Health Board, yeah, you going oversight by having the same people that do the work, basically doing oversight, was supposed to report to the Washtenaw County Commissioners as required, just as required, not all the time, just whenever they felt like it. Talk about the Fox Garden and Hen House. Who was ever going to object? Trish Chorus, using the mental health money to pay issue media group for Pluff media coverage for her professional successes, or utilizing additional money on a PR consulting firm, or buying billboards for a sheriff campaign like this one. Who is that? That's Derek Jackson. That's the same person who ignored, according to the last article, the reports about D'Angelo McWilliams' alleged rape activities at that point at EMU, and hired him anyway. And he was fine with it. That guy, he running for sheriff. Yes, he is. And that's the billboard that was paid for him by mental health millage money. That billboard is now down, by the way, thanks to the reporting in the Ann Arbor Independent News. At this point, thanks to some of the spectacularly scandalous spending and subsequent attacks on the media and members of the public who have questioned the commissioner's handling of public money, I wouldn't trust Andy Labar or any other county commissioner to oversee rows of pennies on a perfectly fat surface, the money would somehow roll away and disappear. Did any of the members of the MAC ever read online reviews of CMH after the millage was implemented? Did they read the reviews by CMH disgruntled employees and the reviews of even more disgruntled, ill-treating customers? Probably not. The brutal truth of the reviews might have sent MAC members scurrying to their private paid therapists for consultation and maybe perhaps a soup cup of Avon. On Google, CMS service and service providers are rated 2.3 stars out of 5. Read them and read. Don't waste your time. Ask them to email you a list of resources. They don't offer counseling. I think they need to stop pushing patients out the door before they're in. Daniel Zimmerman, February 2024. It's the worst place I ever seen on psych facilities in America and Michigan. I have seen bad and miserable, but this is the worst I've ever seen. Aquac Amsray, November 2023. This mental health system officially finally broke me, abandoned by whoever was supposed to be helping me every step of the way. Dr. Manjar and Bright seemed to care, but every other person or team let me drop through the cracks. Now I'll be on the street alone at 64 trying to survive. Heidi Buffano alone. Their limited resources will leave you on the streets or at one of their facilities, Baker Commons, Miller Manor, Aspen Chase, the worst places I ever existed in. Daniel Hansen, April 2022. And on and on and on. These reviews are from after the mental health and public safety millage was passed by voters. A series of investigative articles in 2023 and 2024 by the Independent News using public records requests and the county's online checkbook revealed how millage money was actually spent. Records revealed that CMH director Trish Koras had spent $1 million, just a cool million, on a PR consulting firm, paid for Pluff news coverage. Of course, concentrate, right? Right? Public records reveal Coors had also spent mental health money on AATA bus ads and billboards that featured a gap tooth, smiling face Derek Jackson, a sheriff's employee and presently a candidate for sheriff. And it was a hideous abuse of millage money that was supposed to help people. I wonder if any of these people that complained could have actually got the services for $1 million that was spent on a quasi soon to be sheriff candidate. I just wonder. Perhaps in answer to the newspaper's reportings and to save the millage from taxpayers inclined to vote down pickpocket schemes, Commissioner LeBar recently announced that he's in favor of forming a public safety advisory body of people that he will make sure that will only do his bidding. I'm sorry, that's not an article. I'm sorry. That will oversee the sheriff funds from the mental health and public safety millage. Voted down. What sheriff? What about CMH? Andy LeBar is 5 years too late and $25 to $35 million short. How about hustling the sheriff for additional $5 million a year of mental health and public safety workout? In 2023, Washtenaw County saw more murders than ever before. Yes, it's the highest amount of murders. Yes, in the county. Wow, they claim in their nonprofit friends pay for play that they are helping public health. Sheriff Clayton's employees have retired and resigned in droves. I bet they have. Deputies who work for the county face more forced overtime due to a staffing crisis. Yeah, who won't work for him? Clayton, desperate to fill a position in 2019, hired a deputy, and we just read this, despite the fact he was under investigation for committed serial rapist acts. When a student at Eastern Michigan University. Sheriff Clayton has used his mental health and public safety money to buy guns, ammo, boat, paint to jail, make purchases from a company that produce employee recognition scenarios. I don't know about the RV. It was an RV sitting in the parking lot like a week and a half ago. Did that get RV? It was RV. I don't know what the RV was doing, but it was sitting there in the sheriff's parking lot. I don't know if the RV was used with public safety money, but I knew, or even the sheriff owned it, but I know it was RV. I saw it myself. Meanwhile, between time, and other dubious expenses that taxpayers were never told about because the sheriff runs his own budget and the county commissioners are too scared to actually make him run his budget under them, even though it's their fiduciary duty. Sheriff Clayton used his, again, at a recent sheriff's candidate event, Derek Jackson literally tried to convince the audience that using mental health and public safety mills money to pay the jail was about mental health because, like, painting the jail does not come out of other money that the sheriff's department actually received from taxpayers. And so, because of that, they had to use mental health money in order to paint the jail. If anyone had ever questioned why Jerry Clayton had endorsed and given thousands of dollars to a PAC to Jackson, Derek's earnest efforts to justify diversion of public funds should try and clear up the confusion. Apple tree. Apple never falls far from the tree. Ever. Ever. Public records again, and I'm go back, pay for play. Public records reveal Andy Labar's mental health and public safety millage quickly devolved into a multi-million-dollar boondoggle slush fund. In April 22nd, 2024, Newsflash, purchased by CMH from his PR company with millage funds. One of the successes of the millage was this. In addition to community fundings, 29 full-time FTE positions at WCC AMH was funded by the millage, a 15% increase in WCCMH staff over the last 5 years. In 2021, this puff piece paid for with millage money paid to Impact Media Concentrate was fed on unsuspecting public. Washtenaw County mental health millage attracts press, serving as a model for others. A model that fails the most vulnerable and treats taxpayers like chimps, maybe. As we see from the customer reviews above, the focus of PR puffery and jobs created versus improving the overall quality of services and focusing on positive mental health outcomes speaks volumes about the millage failures, thanks to the lack of oversight by county commissioners and Labar's MAC. In the March 2024 article, Sheriff Clayton spoke about the potential impacts of him losing $5 million in millage money from his $124 million budget, 4%. He was more dramatic than a teenager that threatened with the loss of a red convertible by their parents. He told the Manchester Mirror, a small minority, he loves using that word, those in the county who do not understand. Whoever is against him is always a minority and they never understand. The values that the millage brings are unaware of the programs that have been implemented and the project progress that has been made. If the millage is not put on the ballot this fall for a vote or does not pass or vote of the people, the county wellness and safety in Washtenaw County will be devastated. The county will be forced to choose between a huge bill on this budget or leaving many of our county residents without the necessary police protection and services. Well, I mean, if you got $124 million, Mr. Clayton, can't you just take $5 million out of there and fund it? What about what's with the sheriff having millage money to buy guns, ammo, a boat, pay to jail, fostering felon control patrols in Ypsilanti Township neighborhoods against the wishes of elected officials? Methinks the sheriff protest not too much. Here is an example of the progress made by the sheriff using millage funds. There were 30 murders in Washtenaw County in 2023 alone, including the murders by suspects who underwent and failed competency exams. It's not a stretch to say the majority of Washtenaw County residents are already without a competent and necessary police services and protection, particularly the out-county cities and townships. These poor souls, which that includes us, pay for county's taxes and pay the sheriff $190,000 in protection money for patrol services. The taxpayers didn't get what they were told when they got the mental health and public safety millage was first put on the ballot. They were promised expanded, higher quality mental health services for people in need. They were promised improved public safety. We still need both, but renewing the millage won't provide either. County commissioners who haven't done their job stubbornly refuse to rework the language because they don't want to, of the millage renewal because they're scared, of the county sheriff because they're in his pocket. Proposal they voted to put on the November 2024 ballot. This means that the millage renewed by voters will see the exact same pickpocketing the same overtaxed county taxpayers. Renew the mental health millage and public safety millage. As your CMS psychiatrist may tell you, if you can get an appointment, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. Billboards, guns, ammo, maybe an RV. Money going to nonprofits. We know that thanks to Miss Texer to basically keep them paid and help them work next election. It was people that asked for the mental health portion to be segmented and out of the millage. You also need to know that the mental health millage is not due for renewal until 2026. So why do they need to ask for the money now? The reason why is because it's going to be a big old do hole inside of the budget in 2025. And Greg Dill said it. And so it's actually in the Ann Arbor Independent News. I'm not going to pull that article up. You can look for it yourself. And so if they get the money now, that just gives them more money to fleece. And instead of those people that, and I wasn't one of them. Look, again, I didn't come to that meeting to basically talk about the mental health millage. I came to talk about the spending of the county commissioners. But meanwhile, between time, overspending, the four of them. The one would call me racist 3 times, said I was threatening people's families, which I never did. She needs to learn how to listen because I gave a whole speech, a written speech. But meanwhile, between time, um, it was people that asked for the mental health millage to be separated so it could just focus on mental health. And that was just too much for the county commissioners to do. Even though the whole millage is not redue until 2026. That's something you need to know. Why are they asking for it early? They're asking for it early because it's going to be big old holes in the Washtenaw County budget in 2025. Because they have put the holes there because they've been spending your money like drunken sailors, like I said. Who FBI? Okay, so that's going to get me to oh yeah, I'm sorry. Let me talk about this real quick, because I'm gonna take this article off. So somebody tried to shut me down at a forum of the sheriffs, the same ones I've been talking about. They tried to shut me down. They tried because I was talking about why this second look act that let anybody, no matter what crime they committed, no matter what, murder, rape, child molestation, get a it's a pending bill to get a second look after 10 years from the Michigan Department of Corrections to get out. And I was talking about that in aspect of a young lady who was murdered. I knew her, Tammy Sparrow, who was murdered basically at the facility formerly Michigan Department of Corrections Huron Valley Man's facility. She was a storekeeper. And this was back in 1996. And so a guy who was a prisoner who had stabbed a female correction officer and had worked in the store as a store aide, who she fired, basically came back inside of the store and that's because the guard that should have been watching wasn't watching, and basically strangled her with a telephone cord. And so the question was, and left her there to die, and she did die, and she was there for many hours until she was found, because the rounds was not done. But either way, should that guy get out? Yep, that guy at a second look. And so I mentioned that during the sheriff's debate, and then Mr. Jackson tried to accuse me of being a little crazy. Mr. Jackson, who are you talking to? She was my friend, right? I'm not a little crazy. I'm not crazy at all. I've just got facts. And so, since you probably and since you said you authored the Second Chance Act, I can see why you would try to deflect attention, because you don't care how many criminals are out. Why would you want to be sheriff? Why? Why? Really? Why? So anyway, meanwhile, between time, somebody named Caroline Sanders, who happened to be a county commissioner, told me I didn't know what I was talking about. Like, I can't read count the legislation itself. I see, Caroline, I've been doing this for a while. I've been doing this for a while. I've been debating legislation and basically telling people about it since 2007. Isn't that when I started Reach Out Job Search? Yeah, it was 2007, 2008. Yeah, and Miss Sanders, I actually went to Washington, D.C. because I debated a couple of little bills and stood up for them, including a bill to extend long-term unemployment at that point, thanks to Miss Debbie Stabenow and also Congresswoman Barbara Lee. Debbie Stabenow will be retiring soon. We're going to miss her. I'm serious. I'm going to miss her still. Even, I know it's been tough for her the last couple of years. I know, but I can't blame her for wanting to leave. Meanwhile, between time, and I forgot, wasn't it HR? It was HR 5 something. It's been a while, but that bill would extend it unemployment for it was 99 weeks. That was the first extension, and it would extended it for another, I think it was 14 weeks. And so Debbie Savinow and Barbara Lee asked for me and some of the other people who were trying to advocate for that particular bill to come to Washington, D.C. and speak, Caroline Sanders, about that bill that we had been advocating for. So please don't tell me again, I don't know. And yes, I went and yes, I spoke. So please don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. I know how to read bills. Maybe you don't, but I do. So meanwhile, between time, yep, I just had to take care of that real quick. Because she tried to, you know what I'm talking about? And I had to tell her, I have the mic. I have the mic. And then she shut up. See, people got to stop being intimidated by these folks. Who are they? They got two legs and walk just like you, right? And then on top of it, they call themselves with perceived power of a title that only lasts as long as their position lasts. After that position over, they ain't got no title. So don't be intimidated by no one if you got the facts. I know she's going to be mad at me again. I don't care. I don't literally care. I don't care if she was running around the same forum telling, I don't like her. We don't like her. We don't like her. So what? I don't care if you like me. This is not a popularity contest. Sweetheart, this is not a popularity contest. If you got something to say to me outside of shouting it in a room in front of a bunch of people, you know my number. It's available. You can call me and then we can meet just one-on-one and then settle it. Yeah, I said it, Caroline. I mean, we ain't gonna do nothing but just have tea and crumplets, right? Right? We're gonna be at a coffee house, have tea and crumplets. You're gonna tell me how much you don't like me. And I'm gonna tell you what I think about it. You know, we can go to Big B's. Go to Big B's and have that. We can have that discussion at Big B's. Come on, Caroline. I'm waiting on you. Come on. See, I know because I'm, just a little professional how to handle folks like you. So why don't we go to Big B's and we'll have tea and cumplets and you can talk about to me in my face how much you don't like me. It's a public location. And I would prefer that too, because if we meet one-on-one, it would need to be public because ain't no telling. I need to have my recorder on my phone for you won't accuse me of saying things that I did not say. So that way everybody would know. And then what I'll do, Caroline, is after we meet at Big B's for tea and crumplets and a public location, and I have my recorder on, I'm going to play that meeting on this show. That's what I mean. We can meet one-on-one. You thought I meant something else? Nah, girlfriend. I was just talking about that. So don't shout me down in front of a room full of people. I just gave you an invite to meet me one-on-one. I'm waiting on your call. My number is public. All right. So meanwhile, between time, or try to shout me down. It didn't work. Whatever. Don't like me. I don't care. You know how much I achieved in my life. I didn't even know you existed. Okay. Meanwhile, between time, we're going to go on my rant before I end today's show. Boy, we got problems, right? We have problems in Washtenaw County government, like serious ones. And the question keeps coming back, and this is just 2 articles of many, many articles. I'm going to go and put this back up again because I really need you to look at this website right here. Oh, can I show you the website? Oh, you can't see it. Okay. Go to I'm going to put it at a banner, right? Because I need you to bookmark this website, a2independent.com. Okay. Got it. So I want you, and this is going to be the Ann Arbor Independent News. I'll put that there. Ann Arbor Independent News. Not only do I want you to go to this website, right? I want you to subscribe to it. I want you to subscribe. I want you to go to the website, bookmark it, and subscribe. The reason why is because it's necessary. Otherwise than that, you will not know what's really happening in the government that surrounds you, that you pay for, and the people you pay for. You pay their salary, benefits, and yes, you even pay their health insurance. Them folks too. Yeah, you didn't know you pay their health insurance? You do. In the county government, you do. So you pay all that for them to operate. So go to the Ann Arbor Independent News and bookmark the site. So that way, and subscribe. So that way, when new articles come out, you will have them. Back to the rant. So we have deep, 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 knee deep. It's not so knee deep. It's not knee deep. Problems in Ypsilanti, in government in Washtenaw County. They're obvious. I mean, even the AG, Dana Nessel, had to come in and basically move an investigation out of Washtenaw County because of everything that was going on. Why is it that the FBI has not came into Washtenaw County? I don't know. I don't know. But I do know that the FBI during, and I'm just going to say it, during the Trump administration, was basically focusing on the Tri-County area, and a lot of people got charged. Like, even in Washington Township, a tow guy, basically a couple of Detroit City Council people lost their positions. Because of corruption that was happening in the Tri-County area, right? That was during the Trump administration. I'm saying it because I'm giving credit where credit is due. Now, the FBI, I'm assuming, is still doing investigations, right? I'm assuming. I'm not the FBI boss. Well, technically I pay taxes, but still, I'm not a part of the FBI. So because I'm assuming they're still doing investigations. Now, this is just 2 examples. There's many of them. You can go on, it's the website I told you, in order to look at the easily connectable corruption that's been going on in Washtenaw County government. So my question is the following: who is protecting the pockets? Who is protecting who? Right? Now I do know, and I said it, I hinted at it earlier. Like, the governor is a friend of the sheriff. That's true. So, I mean, I don't know how often they hang out, but I know they know each other quite well. So, I mean, they're friends, right? So is that why nothing's being investigated here in Washtenaw County? Because you would think that after the spending of ARPA funds that was done the way it was done, that should have been enough to bring the FBI in here. But it didn't. It didn't get done. They wasn't in here. But I do know somebody was quite mad at a meeting they recently attended with somebody else. They were they dark, and they were blood faced, kind of like red. And it was questions on what was the purpose of them being so upset. And so maybe that had to do with, I saved you once. I don't know if I can save you again if other articles come out. I don't know. But, I just know that, come on, it needs to be some investigation. Where are 247 Fox News, Fox 2, the WDIV, WXYZ? Come on. You investigated Kwame. You also equally investigated and talked about when these Tri-County investigations were going on during the Trump administration, focusing on Wayne County crime and Wayne, Washtenaw, Macomb, not Washtenaw, because Washtenaw wasn't in it. Wayne, Macomb, Oakland, County corruption, right? At that point in time. In fact, it was a guy who happened to be wasn't he like the drain commissioner in Macomb County? He lost his job too and ended up going to jail, right? So when all that was happening, you were focusing on that. Fox 2, WDIV, WXYZ, where are your investigators now? Did they all leave? I know Charlie LaDuff is now doing his own thing, yeah, which is sad because maybe one of y'all need to hire him back. I mean, I'm just saying, because if you can't do investigations about this mess, all you got to do is go on Ann Arbor Independent News. You can see all of it, right? Then what are you doing as news media? Detroit News wrote one article that was done by George Hunter. He got all the way down, put his foot in it in regards to the $1.2 million given in Arbor funds to a group named Supreme Fellas. However, there was no follow-up articles done. Now, I don't know why George Hunter didn't write any follow-up articles. He wrote a great article. But meanwhile, between time, I can say that I can't believe that the Detroit News does not know about these articles. You want to know why? Because strangely enough, I saw one of their reporters put an article inside of Ipsy area discussion, which was weird because I didn't know the reporter was even in there. But they kind of did expose themselves. I'm not even gonna name the reporter. He can read, he can listen, he know he is. So either way, it was weird because that article was about the state representative who misused ARPA funds and still got her grant for her nonprofit, but that was put in there, right? But I guess in county cases, that same reporter can't report nothing. Now, I don't know if the reason why that reporter can't report anything is because maybe that reporter is a friend of the governor. And so basically the governor's like, report that, but don't report what's going on in Washtenaw County. I don't know. I just know that it's weird. The whole thing is weird, right? And Detroit News, you and Detroit, you especially, and maybe even the Free Press should be covering. I mean, if Kwame Kilpatrick was good enough to be covered, right, to the point of the man not only lost his job but went to jail, why is it prison, federal? Why is it that this corruption, again, you can go on NR Independent News, blatant corruption cannot be covered? Why? What is up with that? It's weird. It's strange. I know a lot of things are going on in the world, like Iran, Iraq, Iran and Israel, and threats of World War III, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Klaus Schwab in hospital, or what is it ever his name with the WEF? UN having meetings about Iran and Israel and Russia. Russia. I know, and then I know the other things are going on in the world. I also know that it is an election. That is not the dang point. The point is your job is to be the fourth estate. And if the fourth estate is actually supposed to protect the taxpayers, then why is these stories that are in Washtenaw County not being covered yet? We need also basically on top of that, like I know, the Republicans don't control anything. Look, I'm so past blue and red. I'm just indie, right? So the Republicans don't control the state house. I get it, or the Senate, right? They got a trifecta. They're about to get ready to have a trifecta again because these two people that was, I don't know what happened to them. I guess they basically went to the state Senate, and they're in Democratic held districts. Those Democratic held officials, candidates are probably gonna win, and they're gonna be down 2 seats again. I get it, but and especially in the House, they don't even have seats in the Senate, but in Michigan Senate. But the point is that you can use your voice, right? You can use your voice, Matt Hall. You can use your voice, Art Nesbitt. I mean, I know you're in the minorities, but still, like, it's crazy in Washtenaw County. Please use your voice and your power in order to say, hey, somebody, you know what I'm saying? Can you please put an eye on Washtenaw County? Because it's a lot going on here. We need help. The taxpayers need help. Hey, maybe even the public officials need help. I can't get into the details, but I'm just saying that you never know how many threats are going on, right? Over and under, you know. And so because of that, it's a lot of help that's needed here. This is bad. Like if you thought Kwame Kilpatrick was bad, Washtenaw County is like right there playing times 5. Stuff needs to be investigated. Stuff needs to be having a keen eye. Like, where is the state police? I mean, if obviously you can't trust the Washtenaw County Sheriff, so where's the state police? Maybe they can do some investigating. Art Nesbitt, Matt Hall, maybe you can point the state police to Washtenaw County Way government. Something needs to be done. And this is a rant for asking for your help. Because as a former elected official and Washtenaw County taxpayer, I am very concerned about what is going on. Otherwise, I wouldn't be speaking about it. Right now, meanwhile, between time, there are some people that don't like me because I speak. I don't care if they like me or not. I literally care about as much as this much of my pinky finger, that much, which is not much at all. I don't care because the taxpayers' money is the ultimate. And your fiduciary duty and the oath that you take to serve taxpayers is number one. So whenever it is that you're not going to be doing that because you're worried about getting money for yourself, or buying tables at a Greek gala, or texting folks because you think, you got an hourly job and stuff. You got texting folks, or I'm sorry, you could be exempt. I don't know. Texting folks about, oh, Monica here, she gonna talk about the mental health village when I wasn't, and then expose the fact of the pay for play for the nonprofits with the mental health money, then it's a problem, right? And so we can do better than this. Like you folks I just mentioned, you can do better than this. I understand that these are not your districts. I get it. It's in Washtenaw County. I get it. And some of these areas that are being affected are basically with people that don't even look like you or anything. I get it. I know. But I'm asking you as a elected official inside of the state of Michigan to point eyes towards this way. Please. Charlie the Duff, can you please cover? Like I know I know you're not on Fox 2 no more, but you do have the no BS news hour. Can you please cover what's going on here? Like somebody needs to do something, right? Because hey, Miss Lesko is writing her patooties off, right? And it should be more coverage done because of it. Period. Point blank. That's my rant. Follow, share, tell folks about the Ann Arbor Independent News. Like if you're looking for them, I'm going to show you a couple of sites. You can also find them on Newsbreak. And that means when you find them on Newsbreak, right, which is absolutely great, you can have any Newsbreak in Arbor Independent News. You can have any other articles that come up for Ann Arbor Independent News right sent to your phone, right? And in Newsbreak, you can actually comment as well, right? You can comment. Now, you can't comment on the Ann Arbor Independent News site, but you can comment on Newsbreak. So, like, for instance, I'm going to show you this. Let me basically take that article down and show you the Newsbreak article. That's this one. That was on Newsbreak. Like, okay, so comments are off the chain on this article, right? That's the one we just talked about earlier about the sheriff hires accused rapist as deputy, denies release of background check. Yeah, that one. 128 comments. I mean, so you can comment on this particular article, right? You can comment and leave your thoughts. I mean, I could read the comments, but I'm not right now. I'll just tell you these comments, people are upset. Okay. So what you can do is that you can subscribe, follow on the Newsbreak Ann Arbor Independent News. Just put in Newsbreak Ann Arbor Independent News and Google and all of that. If you put the Newsbreak app on your phone, it will come to your phone. We have got to get information out, right? Because our newspaper, Ann Arbor Independent News, is falling on the sword. We have got to get this information out. So subscribe to the Ann Arbor Independent News, right? On Newsbreak, and then that way all this information will come to your phone. Right now it's 552 followers. Washtenaw County is 360,000. In my opinion, it needs to be 300,000 followers because maybe the other 60 are doing pay for play with the WSCO. 5, right? So that's number one. And then of course you can always go to their website and you can just, you can actually not only pay for a subscription, which I think you should do, but in the same aspect, share these articles. I should not be the only person sharing in our independent news articles. Everybody should be sharing them at this point. Share them, share them, share them. Even in groups that may not want to see them, share them anyway. Share. Put it on your personal page. Send it to your friends. Send it in Messenger. Send it if you live in Washtenaw County. We have got to start getting this information out. Okay. And again, for the Ann Arbor Independent News, just go a2ndindependent.com. And there you go. All right. So we are at the end of today's show, the wrap up. Man, I hope I gave you enough information in an hour and 43 minutes. Thanks to everyone that was listening on our basically X stream. We appreciate that as well. Of Independent Underground Radio Live with Monica RW. The wrap up is pretty much my rant. We need some help in Washtenaw County. And it's time for the boys and girls to come in, the men and women of various agencies, to look at Washtenaw County and not the WSCL, not including that agency. I'm talking about agencies above them. right? It's time. It's time for agencies above them to come look at the Washtenaw County Commissioners. It's time. It's time for them to get inside the budgets. Look at Greg Dale, right? He's the Washtenaw County executive. Some of his spending. It's time. It's time to get inside of some of these officers. Now, I'm not accusing the racial equity officer of any corruption. I don't know what she did, but just look inside of all of the offices to see what's going on. Get them texts, get them emails, get them computers, go download them, go pop up at people's house, the whole 9 yards. You need to start doing all that because it's that deep right now. Right? If you could do it to Janice, what's her name? Janice Ayers, I think that's what her name was, the former county commissioner, Scott Benson. You better be trying. I'm sorry, they was Detroit City Council people. Then, and then you also did what's his name? Andre. Yeah, I think his name Andre. But either way, you popped up in their houses and stuff. Man, come on now. Don't tell me that you can't do this in Washtenaw County. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it because Ann Arbor got as much trouble as they in trouble too. $25 million budget deficit in the schools. Crime is out of control. Ann Arbor residents like, what's going on? Right. So don't try and protect Washtenaw County because it's mostly white people that live here. Please stop doing that. Even the white people are upset. White people, Asian people, Arabic people, black people, everybody is upset because they tired and no one's listening. And so with that, we need some work done. So I hope in this wrap up, in this pop-up show, you will listen to the whole entire show. And then things will be done. And that's the wrap up for today. Because some need to be done. Thank you for tuning in to today's show. I am out of here. And I hope you enjoyed it. This is Independent Underground Radio Live with Monica RW. And you have a wonderful day.